My name's Sam Margerison. I'm a Technology and Partnerships Manager at Harrier Talent Solutions. A little bit about me. My background is in software implementation. I began my career in a graduate role as part of an implementation team. I was their project coordinator, so I got to see a lot of how the projects ran, and ultimately I got to take part in a couple of projects of my own by the end of that graduate year. So I found my love for consulting there and quickly moved into the consulting team. From there, I found that I really loved the client projects, and I actually moved to where I am currently with Harrier Talent Solutions. I came in for a specific client transformation project that spanned over 9 months, and I was fully embedded with the client, working on site and trying to get a great outcome for the client and their end users with all of the technologies they were implementing. Very quickly though, after finishing that project, we found that there was a great need for my company to have someone like me with my skill set across their clients. So I've moved into more of a central role now, where I look after our technology platforms for all of our existing clients, and then also help with our prospects and our sales pipeline to make sure that we have the right partners on board for any of those solutions that we take to clients. So if I were to break my career into a number of sprints, the first sprint I think would be focused on those client projects that I worked at the recruitment software company. I worked with a lot of different clients there and had to learn how to juggle a lot of different competing priorities and keep a lot of different people happy. That next sprint I think was focused on a depth of technology, working on a transformation project, which was that 9-month project I mentioned earlier, working directly with the client and being fully immersed in that client environment. I really had to learn a lot more stakeholder management and working my way through the bureaucracy that maybe existed, but also still trying to get a great outcome for the end users. And then I think the last kind of sprint, if we'll call it, is the one I'm in now, which is more around advisory and partnerships. I have to think very differently in the way I work now. There's no longer a day-to-day project plan for my job. I have to think strategically as to what I want to see in the future and what kind of initiatives I should be working on to get me there. The worst advice I ever got. I've been told a couple of times early on in my career to only look out for number one. I think that's a very sad view. It's great to assert your goals and your plans and be open about that, but maybe I think there's opportunity for us to look out for ourselves and those around us. I think always being part of a team, I've been a big believer in team encouragement and trying to draw the skills out of one another. I think if everyone can do that, it creates a great culture for the whole team to succeed, where it's no longer about the individual winning, it's about the team winning. The best advice I ever received, I think, has been to remain curious, whether it's different projects or about different departments or even industry news, potentially. I'm always looking for new things. For example, my phone is full of apps. My wife often makes fun of me for the pages and pages of apps that I probably don't use anymore, but I'm always on the lookout for the newest and greatest things. And I think being curious like that can help expand your mind and learn that there are new things out there. Things are changing all the time, so I think we need to do our best to try and keep up with it and find if there are new things out there that take our interest that we should look further into. I think it would be great if someone reinforced that idea that there's just not one set journey for anyone. I think coming out of university, it's so easy to get carried away in mapping where you want to be and all the steps that you need to take to get there. But I think that can almost limit you and keep your focus too narrow. Knowing that there's so many other things to learn and experience along the way and focusing on those elements in each of your roles, I think is much more helpful. You might learn something that interests you that wasn't on your roadmap, and I think it's good to be open to that. I think anyone starting your career, just be open to those experiences and have goals, but certainly be flexible in knowing that they may change. Maybe it's not the biggest mistake. I'm sure there's bigger mistakes that I haven't realized I've made, and we won't talk about those. but one that stood out to me when I was a consultant at the recruitment software company. I accidentally locked an entire company out of their system by doing some testing that I thought I was doing safely. I'd taken all of the right steps that I thought I had to take to do the testing I thought I was doing. But long story short, something in the system wasn't doing what it was meant to be doing. So our support team got a very panicked call from the client, and I was blissfully unaware, testing away like a happy chap. And the support team tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what are you doing there?" So we were able to resolve it, but there was certainly a very angry client on the other end of the phone, and it took a little bit of management, I think, to restore that situation. So from there, I've definitely learned always triple check before you get too confident. I was certainly at that stage where I thought I understood things, so I maybe wasn't as thorough in trusting the technology as I needed to be. I think a key theme in my career so far has been putting my hand up for things. Whether it's a new project or maybe a cross-departmental project working with different teams, can give you some experiences that you otherwise wouldn't have got if you just stuck to your existing job description. I think it can help you learn more about the things you like in your job, and then also the things you don't like, maybe things you never want to do again, and you're just going to be super clear for any other job in the future that is not a part of it. Still, I'm putting my hand up for things. In my current role, I'm trying to get involved in the marketing content, putting together blogs and videos. I really enjoy that creative side of things. And I think this can give you visibility of the organization. You can see how those departments run, and they can see what skills you bring to the team. And it can also help your leaders and managers know what kind of skills you offer the organization, so that if an opportunity comes up again in the future, your name might come to mind.